Rockin' Dave.
1971 with my wife, my 2-year-old son, and a 3-legged dog, a loaf of bread, a jar of peanut butter, and a fifth of whiskey. I told my wife when we were in the Air Force that when we got out of the Air Force, I insisted on coming to pursue my dream of music. Initially, I wanted to be the next Elvis, but that role was taken. The second day I was here, I was walking down Grand Avenue, and I didn't know it at the time, but I was walking right in front of Quadraphonic. The door to the studio was wide open. It was summertime, and I kept hearing this incredible music just blowing out the door. Soon discovered it was a recording studio with Gene Eichelberger in there, and he was mixing Joan Baez's The Night They Drove Old Dixie Down. I let myself in the open doorway, and I walked around the corner, and there was Gene Eichelberger sitting behind this incredible console. He said, "Who are you? What do you want? What are you doing here?" And I said, excuse me, I've just driven down here from Boston, Massachusetts, and what are you doing? I said, how can I get a job doing exactly what you're doing? He said, go to Woodland. It was pretty famous story about he got there and worried the crap out of Glenn Snyder to get a job. I mean, it wasn't the normal way. When he got to Woodland, he couldn't even get in. I mean, it was just like, so he thought, well, I'll just sit here on the steps till they let me. I got to the Woodlands front door 4 days in a row, and then on the 5th day, which was a Friday, Jim Pugh, who was the chief technical engineer, said to me, "What are you doing sitting on these front steps?" I said, well, I'm hoping to get interviewed and I'm hoping to get a job here. He said, "You know anything about recording?" I said, "Not a thing." So I went into Glenn's office, Glenn Snoddy, and I said, "Look, I don't know how to make a record." I said, "But what I would contribute to this operation is I have a strong back, a weak mind, and I don't need a lot of money." He chuckled, I think, at that, and told me to go back home, and he hadn't made up his mind. And later that night, at about 8 o'clock, Rick Horton called me. Rick Horton said, "Come to work on Monday." David is a real hard worker, man. He's there for the duration. If I had a chance, I'd try to get him because I knew that he would be, there for the job and doing the right thing, And he was just like I said, real hard worker, and I was impressed with that.
David and Denny Purcell would instigate some things every once in a while. One of their favorite pastimes was to break into Glenn Snoddy's office because he had the nicest room in the building, and he always locked the door.
And for us to be able to do that, I mean, we wouldn't steal anything, but if we wanted to see something or needed something, oh, that's in Glenn's office. Oh, okay. We'd take turns going up in the ceiling and then dropping down.
And Denny's up there one night climbing over the other side, and all of a sudden you hear this crash, bang. Telling me, "You're Denny back there yet?" "I'm okay." They open it up and they'd taken down about a quarter of the drop ceiling in Glenn's office. And they had to put this all back together so Glenn wouldn't know in the morning. So I think those guys were there till about 3 a.m. just fixing this ceiling.
Well, and then we come along a few years later, maybe 73 or so, and a guy by the name of Burl Red.
Oh, yeah.
He come along with a new Christian musical.
Celebrate Life. I had the absolute thrill of doing some of my own music for Burl Red. There was an album called The Family of God, which is a tune I wrote. He put his name down as a co-writer. I didn't care. I was so thrilled to have it, it said in big print across the cover, Family of God.
Well, I started at Woodland Studios in the late 60s when I was a full-time staff member at First Baptist Nashville. Burl Red asked some of our choir to sing in a project they were doing for the Baptist Sunday School Board. So that's how I got to know him. And then when I went to the board in 1973, I continued to do my recording sessions at Woodland Studios. And often David and I would be on those sessions together. A couple of the other projects that I did included recording at First Baptist Church, where I played the organ on Celebrate Life and Cool in the Furnace. And I think David was involved in that particular project as a character, Nebuchadnezzar. He was perfect for it. He was very good at those kinds of characters.
What do you mean they're going to pay the tax anymore? Of course they're going to pay it. They must pay it. What makes them think they can stop paying the tax just because they don't like it? No!
At the time, back in those days, there was an arranger around town named Bill Walker, and did a lot of television shows. And they'd set these things up, and we'd have a full rhythm section, and there'd be strings, horns, background singers. Just, there's probably 18 people out there, on this thing. And we'd spend a day setting up for this thing and a whole day recording it. And David would handle these sessions just absolutely no problem whatsoever. And he'd sit back there and drink coffee and smoke cigarettes at the same time.
The biggest one for me, honestly, was Johnny Cash. I got to do an album with Roy Orbison, which was quite a thrill. I got to do an album with Little Richard when he had gotten born again for the second time. It would be like 3 o'clock in the morning. We'd still be in the studio working on it. And I would say to him, Richard, give me just a few bars of Lucille or Long Tall Sally. Come on, Richard. Can you play just a little bit of Slippin' in a Slide? And he said, oh no, I can't do that. I did the Oak Ridge Boys, Cut Elvira, Les Ladd and myself. Carl Perkins was a thrill to work with. Did the 25th anniversary album with Conway and Loretta. And I was so honored. I spent 7 years as chief engineer and studio supervisor. I had the power to hire and fire, and I did both. Yeah, I did. Well, I ended up at CBS television in California, and the reason I did, the head of the technical department for CBS was friends with an engineer who'd worked at Opryland Productions. And Opryland had hired me, and it was doing the CMA Awards at the new Opry House. There's only one other person in the control room with me, and that's this guy from CBS in California. And he's like blown away that I am one guy. He said, don't you have any help? I said, no, I don't really need any help. He says, are you working for anybody right now, or are you freelancing? And I said, well, no, I'm freelancing right now. He said, would you like to come out? I can't hire you because we've overhired brilliant people, highly educated people who don't know anything about making music and recording music. So he said, could you come out and work for 3 months? That's all he said, it's called temporary permanent employee. And so I said, why not? Yeah. They paid $1,500 and something a week.
And what did you do with CBS? What did you do?
I did audio for video for The Price is Right, The Wheel of Fortune, and Family Feud. I also did, that was on a regular weekly basis. Then I did, in addition to those 3 shows, I volunteered to do a baseball quiz show. It was the Johnny Bench baseball quiz, I think. Another extremely exciting event was when the CBS telethon, it's not the Jerry Lewis telethon, this one has John Ritter and Henry Winkler as the hosts of it. But one standout memory is that with Ray Charles. Ray Charles was coming in there, and they'd set the piano up for him, and I placed the mics where they needed to be. We're there, and all of a sudden the manager's gone someplace in the building, I'm guessing, but they call for lunch. They say, okay, everybody stop. It's a union shop, we're breaking for lunch. So Ray's just sitting there by himself behind the piano. And I go walking up to him and I say, Ray, that guy that escorted you in here, I don't see him anywhere. And Ray says, he's probably making a phone call or something. And so he said, and I'm hungry. I said, I'd be happy to escort you there if you'd like that. He said, well, I'm starving. Yeah, let's do that. Okay, I said, okay, so I kind of grab his arm, and he grabs a hold of my arm, and we get up. Now, there's a revolving door going up to the hall. We get right up to it, and of course I've got a hole in him, and I said, now Ray, this is a revolving door, and it's not going around slow, it's going around. And so I said, I'll give you plenty of warning now, it's on the other side, it's opening on the other side, the hallway side. Now here it comes, it's closed the hallway side, now it's opening towards us, and we can get on it right now. And then next thing Ray knows, I'm jerking him back. I said, no, we gotta go a little bit quicker than that. And I'm laughing. When we finally get on it and go around completely, try to stay ahead of it, and we get off in the hallway, and Ray gets up in the hallway, and he says, David, that is the single most funniest thing that has ever happened to me in my entire life. And then we touched on the 20 years I spent working for Starday Records. It was a slowing down period for me, really, compared.
California.
Right, and went to work for Starday.
And your main job there was?
Engineering sessions. Yeah, I did many, but I did work with people like Matt Wiseman, the Ralph Stanley of the Stanley Brothers. I got introduced to the whole world of really traditional white gospel, bluegrass, the mountain music of Appalachia. The last 10 years of my career was spent in digital mastering. I didn't do sessions for them. I mean, they closed the studio for the last 10 years, and I did all the remastering of everything that the King kept, all of the important stuff that was on the King records. I'm very proud of a lot of those projects that I got a chance to work on. because I'm very proud that I did country music my whole grown life. I mean, from the minute I got out of the Air Force, I've been in the music business. There are so many incredible memories that I have, and so many wonderful people over all these years. I just can't tell you what a train ride it has been for me. Who would have thought that a little juvenile, delinquent Boston kid would come to Nashville, Tennessee and have the life experience that I've had here?
David, I think you have had a wonderful career, and what this award you're getting is just very well deserved, and I hope you can appreciate it for what it is. I know I do, and best of luck to you in your retirement.
Well, I'm very proud of you, David, and congratulations, and I send my love and best wishes. And I'm proud to be included in this group.
Well, I'm first and foremost congratulate him on being a part of it, because he sure paid the dues to get here, and I'm glad he don't have to sit on the steps anymore, man. I love him, man.
Getting started a while ago and getting things wrapped up, David stepped by here and you heard him say, "If elected, I will." And Julia turned to me and she said, "What is he doing?" I said, "He's being David." My friend, David McKinley.
It's an honor to present you with this Lifetime Achievement Award.
Thank you so very much.
Speeches only, not singing.
What do we have? 5 minutes? Less than that. Good night. Well, I'm just going to let you look at me. I don't have anything to say. Except, I want to thank my 2 wonderful children who I love so dearly, who are here, and my 2 grandchildren who are here. Yeah, like an earlier person said, they kind of grew up not really knowing their old man all that well, but we've tried. And most importantly, my blessed wife, who is here also, who made that illustrious trip with me from Boston down here to Nashville. Thank you. And I also would like to say thank you so much to 3 of my very best and dearest and oldest friends from the Air Force who have come from a long way away to share this moment with me also. And you know, they go back with me before Nashville came into my life. So I would like to come around now, put the light on me, and shake everybody's hand. And I don't know if you can see this tip jar. I don't want to accept anything larger than a 5. Well, yeah, if I got 5 minutes, I'm taking it all, whether I say anything or not. You took 2 minutes. I'm all over this because I wanted it so bad. Nothing was as important as the life I have lived. It has been an amazing journey. I was a juvenile delinquent in Boston growing up, but look how changed I've become. I haven't been in jail in at least 9 or 10 years. And the only reason I went to jail is I like margaritas a lot. Well, folks, I guess I should mosey on down the trail, polish up my hooks on my fishing rod. And I'm enjoying things. I don't get a chance to make people laugh that much anymore because nobody's interested. Every time I go anywhere and do anything that's not connected with the music business, nobody knows me, nobody recognizes me. But man, in the studio, it was an incredible journey. And I loved the work, and I'm so proud of my career. And I just want to say a great big hearty Rockin' Dave thank you to every one of you.